Well, guys, it took a hell of a lot longer than 7 years. There was a lot of twists, a lot of turns. We got a whole completely different show called Rebels, which is fantastic, by the way. But finally, the Clone Wars has come to an end. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel once again. I am Robert Storms. If you're finding me for the very first time, please be sure to click that like and subscribe button. Also guys, please come join our Discord server. We're trying to get to 150 members. We're like 135 right now. I will have a link in the description box below or the pinned comment. It's 100% free to join. Just click on it and join the Discord server. So, Clone Wars, Victory and Death, the final episode of Clone Wars Season 7, the series finale. Not just season finale, but the series finale. I actually was able to watch this last night before I went to bed because Disney decided to drop it early. So once it hit May 4th, get it? May 4th, May the 4th be with you. Happy Star Wars Day, guys. How you guys doing? I actually went in the wrong mindset. Instead of sitting on the couch and enjoying the episode for what it was, I was going in going, come on, connect the dots, don't mess up the canon, connect the dots because, it was supposed to lead into the Ahsoka novel. Okay, now this is my copy of the Ahsoka novel that came out years ago. It's actually an autographed copy by Ashley Eckstein, who voices Ahsoka. I was looking like, okay, how are you going to connect this? How are you going to connect this? And it's been like a year since I read the book. I read it like 3 or 4 times. I'm actually going to go back and give it another read and refresh my memory. And I actually skimmed through the book after the episode last night. And yes, there is a couple continuity changes that does kind of irritate me. But for the most part, they kept very, very faithful to what happened in the events of the Ahsoka novel. Adam sat on the couch. He's like, it was kind of anticlimactic what happened with Darth Maul. And it was, but you had no other choice to do it that way. One, we know Darth Maul escapes because we see him in Solo and also in Rebels. Two, they have to be very, very careful not to retcon too much of what happens in the Ahsoka novel. Maul has to escape, and Ahsoka has to choose between either stop Maul or rescue Rex, and she fights with that and she rescues Rex just like she does in the Ahsoka novel. This episode wasn't about Maul. It was about Ahsoka dealing with Order 66 of not wanting to slaughter all these clones that are her friends. It was about her fighting with that and fighting with what to do. Do I just give up? Do I actually fight these clones and kill these clones? These are people that I fought with. It's not their fault. It's chips in their head. Like, it was her weighing all this stuff weighing down on her. That's what this episode was about. It was about her ordeal through Order 66. Darth Maul and her had their time. They had their time in the first 2 episodes of this 4-part series. It wasn't about Darth Maul. Darth Maul was only to escape. That was the only thing to do with Darth Maul. And this episode wasn't about having a flashy ending. This episode was really supposed to weigh on you and weigh on everything that happened throughout all 7 seasons of the Clone Wars. We grew up, well, a lot of you guys grew up, but we spent so much time with Ahsoka and Anakin and Obi-Wan and Rex and all these clones. And to see, these events played out, it's very, very hurtful. It's sad. The final 5 minutes of this episode is just as good. I put it just as good as anything I've seen in Rebels. I'm a massive fan of Rebels. I think Rebels Season 2 is phenomenal, especially the season finale. You can go back and watch the season finale of Season 2 just right after watching this episode, and it works so well. And the final shot of Ahsoka just sitting there with the graves of all the clones and helmet, and then you got Rex's helmet on the stick, and she just puts her lightsaber down in the dirt. And it does, like I said, it does retcon a couple things from the novel. In the novel, her lightsabers were green. Dave Filoni explained that. I don't buy that explanation whatsoever because it says it lights up green. It clearly lights up blue. I don't care if the crystals are still green and Anakin just turned them blue for a little while. At the end of the day, it still says green in the book, so I don't buy that retcon. Dave Filoni, I love you, But if anybody else would come up with that explanation, they would be harassed all over the internet. So I'm not giving Dave Filoni a pass on it just because he's the great Dave Filoni. And I love Dave Filoni. I worship Dave Filoni. But that doesn't track. And also it says that Ahsoka gets down on her knees and she like sits her hilts into the dirt next to the graves, whereas she doesn't really do that. She just like kind of like leaves one lightsaber behind and so on. So there was some retcons definitely, which does bother me because I'm like OCD canon junkie. It's like, oh, anything they change, like that's why the X-Men movies like give me a migraine. But yeah, but the episode was phenomenal. The final shot with her in front of the mass graves of all the clone soldiers' helmets and Rex's helmet, and then Vader showing up, what we assume many years later, because the transition between clones, the stormtroopers already happened, so it has to at least be a couple years later, and he picks up the lightsaber and ignites it. It's very sad, very poetic. You know that Vader remembers and knows that that's Ahsoka, and that could lead right into their final confrontation in Rebels. So it's very, very good episode. This past 4-part story arc was everything I was hoping for this season of Clone Wars. I thought the Bad Batch was pretty good. I liked it. It was slow, but overall I liked it. The middle 4 episodes with Ahsoka and Rafa and all that, I hated those 4 episodes. I felt like they were so lame. It felt like filler episodes. I was hoping to get more, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I think the Clone Wars, when we go back and look at it as a series, and I might get a lot of hate for this, the Clone Wars as a overall series, all 7 seasons, is a very up and down show. We have great moments and not so great moments, and great moments and not so great moments. And that's just sort of like what you're into, because the Clone Wars is a very serialized show. Like, we'll get a story arc with Count Dooku and Grievous just wiping out Dathomir, and then next thing you know, we'll get a story arc about like Jabba the Hutt's son. You know, so it's very up and down. So not everything is good. It's just the way the show is structured. And unfortunately, this season was the same way. Bad Batch was decent. Then we had 4 episodes that weren't so good, and then like the final 4 episodes, like some of the best Star Wars stuff I've seen in years. So, unfortunately, that's just the nature of the Clone Wars. That always has been the nature of the Clone Wars. But overall, I thought this episode was phenomenal. Great way to end the series. Great way to finally put closure. I seen Adam say last night that he hopes that someone does like a super giant cut of Revenge of the Sith, adding in these 4 episodes into Revenge of the Sith. That would be awesome. I know there's a lot of people doing side-by-side comparisons of scenes from Revenge of the Sith and then cutting it right into what's going on with Clone Wars. That's cool to check out as well. But overall, love the episode. It did fit in pretty damn well with the novel, minus a couple little But that's just Lucas. That's Lucasfilm in general, right? It's like they work so hard to say all these books are canon, and then when they come out, it's like, oh, well, it's canon, but you know, we got. I'm sorry, what was that? You know, I mean, I can't hear you, Lucasfilm. What's going on? Is it canon or not? Hey, look, you know. So yeah, that's sort of the way it is. I mean, if they were actually going to do that, then they should have just kept the Legends stuff around, you know. Well, technically, the Legend stuff is still around. The EU is still around. But, like, the whole point was they got rid of it so everything would fit in and be canon. But if you're constantly going back and contradicting and retconning and doing all of this stuff to your canon novels, what was the whole point of getting rid of the EU stuff in the first place? I mean, and like, not all the EU stuff was great, but there was a lot of good stuff. Like, if you ever read Labyrinth of Evil, fantastic. Just a lot of really good stuff. And yeah, unfortunately, if you're just gonna retcon and keep contradicting your own canon, I didn't see the point of that. But this is not a canon EU rant. No, we're here to celebrate Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you guys. And the Clone Wars final episode, fantastic. Pretty much ended the way I hoped it would have. Anyway, guys, final season of Clone Wars, Victory and Death. Did you see it? What do you think about it? Be sure to leave those comments in the comment box below. Also, guys, again, go check out the Mandalorian documentary that just released today. It's going to be, I believe, 8 episodes, so check that out. That's going to be awesome. But anyway, guys, tell me what you think. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, join the Discord, and until next time, as always, I'm Robert Storms, and that's my opinion.